All right, everyone, and welcome to the Tuesday edition, July 11th, 2023. If you're new here, basically what we're going to do is we're going to go over the crypto market, the FX market, and the stock market, talk about what's going on there. I'm also going to share the list of stocks that I have on watch for today, for tomorrow, for swing trades going into the next few days. If you want access to this, all of the screenshots from this, actually now the actual watch list itself with the prices and little notes for what I'm watching. You can sign up for the email list there. You actually get a little link. You can import that into Trade Ideas, and it will just have those watch lists for you, which is a really cool feature that they have now. So if you don't have Trade Ideas, you can try it out for a month. Use Stats Edge for 15% off. And without further ado, let's get into it here. We're going to talk about Bitcoin first. I don't know what to say. We've been stuck in this range since the 23rd of June, and it's the 12th now. So a couple more days, and we're knocking on a month where we're just banging against this resistance area. Now, overall, it's probably bullish that's going on in the long run. A little bit bullish that, hey, you want to see after a big push up like this, you want to see that kind of sideways consolidation, right? Last thing you want is kind of a pop and a drop. A pop and then some sideways consolidation is probably good, but really I'm just staying at a Bitcoin until we can break that. I've got a stop limit up here somewhere to get me in some in case we break overnight. I'm always looking over here because it's just going to show what individual names. Oh, I wanted to look at dollar yen. And dollar yen's been pulling back quite nicely here and into this zone right here. So that's where we broke out before in dollar yen. We pulled back pretty significantly, like a couple really strong days in a row to get there. So looking on the shorter time frame, see if we can get a short-term bounce on dollar yen. Now, US CAD, or boom, is the same thing, where we are selling off pretty dramatically, but this one is actually a little bit more bearish to me. So what I'm looking at here is these lows in through here. We broke them, and now it looks like we're pushing back. So this is a little potential bear flag right in this area right here. If we break out of that, then it might be that this area actually held as resistance after holding as support before. Something that's very common to see in the market. Something is resistance and then acts as support, or acts as support and then it flips into resistance. And if we get a push down from there, I think that's US dollar CAD is interesting. So into the individual markets, we look at the SPY. The main thing I talked about, and I write a little couple sentence thing in the email as well, basically just talking about how we're kind of range bound here, right? You could draw the range like this, or you could even just draw it tighter like this, which we've had this gap right here that we're filling. So we're inside this big range, and then we're inside this small range. So, right, a lot of action going on here, big action in through here, small action in through here, getting really, really tight one way or the other. Again, just like Bitcoin, I've got to, as a trend trader, I've got to expect that we're going to resolve in the direction of the overlying trend, which is bullish for equities, bullish for crypto right now. So, I have to make that bet. And I'm actually already kind of taking because I have a full portfolio of really, really strong names. So that's what I want to see happens. Who knows what actually happens? I think there's CPI or one of those numbers tomorrow that could spice things up and get things going finally. One thing I wanted to point out is the massive outperformance in ARK, right? So ARK I use as my junky stock list, right? This is just stocks that are a bit junky. They're, Peloton, Zoom, basically generally companies that don't make a lot of money now, but she invests in companies that she thinks will make a lot of money in the future. And when that's breaking out, that's just kind of showing me there's a little bit of risk on activity going in through here. So there's not much that I actually added to the list because I can't find anything. A handful of entries today that were great. We had this Monday. The idea behind this was simply the anchored view app from before this gap. Absolutely loving this scan. Just looking for things that are coming into an anchored view app right before a large gap. Came in, hit here, kind of consolidating around this range, broke today and just kept running. A beautiful trade for that. Chewy, the same exact setup here. So the anchored view app from right before this gap right here. Draw that in just like that. And you see it comes in, finds support there, and then pops up. So I'm in this one as well. And then I also took ADBE or Adobe today. Broken record. Anchored view up for the gap. Found that as support. This one I only noticed on this day right here. But a nice breakout through 500. And that's actually where I had my order. It's right above 500. If it got through 500, I just... psychological whole numbers like that, on $100 stocks, 100, 200, 300, 400 makes perfect sense. And also VEEV, again, broken record, right? A view up before the gap, pulls in, moves higher, pulls in, finds support at that gap, broke 200. That's where I got in. And now I'm pretty much full. So there's nothing really I added. This MongoDB, I actually added this one today. I just forgot. I added it when I was on the Trade Ideas stream. But again, broken record. Anchored view out before the gap. We actually had this, if you followed this channel for a length of time, we had a little bit on this day right here on MongoDB. We took out most of our profits, got stopped out, the rest break even. And now it looks like it's finding support at that anchored view app again. So back through 400, I might give this one another shot. But just because there's nothing new on the watch list doesn't mean that, right, I didn't go through hundreds of charts to try to find something. Just nothing really hit my eye. And it could be that we're just up pretty strongly here, and I'm buying pullbacks and uptrends. So there's really nothing pulling back, but that's fine because that means I just have a completely full portfolio now. So if the market rips, that's great. I have a bunch of stocks. If it pulls back a bit, I'll get stopped out of some winners, and then hopefully I'll find some pullbacks that I can continue to move with. So thanks everyone for watching. That's it for today's episode. I will see you all tomorrow. Again, go to statsedgetrading.com, sign up for the email list, save yourself 15% off trade ideas, and I will see you then.